guys, welcome back. I'm working on the Pengo again. Now, I have it laying on its side on top of a moving blanket. I put it on its side because I got to put T-molding on it. And this cabinet, the T-molding wraps all the way around the bottom of the cabinet. So, figured it'd be easier on its side than on its back, because then I could just start with the T-molding in the middle, work my way around, and then cut it in the middle on the bottom once I make it all the way around the cabinet. Now this cabinet takes a textured T-molding, which a lot of the MCR games take a textured, and the Williams games. So I have a big roll of it here. So I'm going to start at the center of the bottom, work my way around the front, back down, back to the center of the bottom, and then we could flip it over, do the other side. Now we're going to put the artwork on. After the artwork, I'm going to put the coin door on, then we're going to put the circuit board in, and then we're going to put the monitor in, and then the marquee and stuff like that. Now, I don't have the control panel overlay yet. It was supposed to be here yesterday. Thought it would be here today, but it's not going to be here until Monday. So we're going to be able to put pretty much everything together minus the control panel. So we'll at least get this thing put back together to the point where we just need to do the control panel, which shouldn't take long, and then put that on, and then we should be able to physically play a game. Okay, so I got the side art did come. I did not open it yet. We'll open that once we get to it. I also got a high score saver from highscoresaves.com. So we got to put that on the circuit board. I believe that's just where the Z80 goes. I haven't looked at it yet, but we'll do that real quick. But I want to put the circuit board in before the monitor, because the monitor kind of hangs kind of low and that neck is right there, and I don't want to bump the neck. So I think putting the monitor in last is probably the best thing to do. So I'm going to go ahead and do the T-molding. I'm going to kind of fast forward through this, show it, but I'm going to do it in a fast motion just so that I don't burn up a bunch of time doing this. Now, for the most part, these have nice curved corners. So I think just the back top, I'm going to have to make a notch in the T-molding and down here at the bottom corner so that I can make the bend. But other than that, it should kind of, for the most part, flow right around here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that. I have my rubber mallet, I have my cutters, I have my knife in my pocket, so we should be good to go. Okay, now I'm going to work on putting the side art. If you guys hear the dogs in the background, they're playing. Our puppy is playing with one of the older ones, so bear with me there. So this is all the waste I had with the T-molding. So not too bad at all. So now we're going to put the side art on. And I'm sure some of you guys are wondering, why not put the side art on when it's laying on its side? I personally don't like doing that. I like doing it standing up, and also, since I had to flip it over from one side to the other, I didn't want to run the risk of putting it on one side, flipping it over, and potentially screwing up the artwork, scratching it or something like that. Our T-molding's not sitting tight right here. It's a little bit loose right there, so I might take this, lift it up, put a little hot glue underneath it, and set it back down. And I think a little bit on the bottom. Other than that, the T-molding went on really well. So let's open up the side art. Like I said, I have not seen it yet. Haven't even looked at it. But I want to try to position this cabinet so that you can kind of see what I'm doing here. And we're going to take just masking tape and tape it up there where we want it, and then peel half of it, stick it, and then peel the other half. I do have a paper towel here. I always like to wipe my cabinet down first. Make sure you don't have anything debris on there or anything. And this is a very small side art. So it's not a real hard one to do. I don't know if I mentioned this when I first started the video, but I ordered a couple manuals for Pengo. It came as a 2 manual set. I like to have a manual for all my games because it's just nice to be able to open a book, lay it down and look exactly what you're doing. Rather than having it on your phone, your computer, you're flipping through it, trying to enlarge, make small. Guess I'm a little bit old-fashioned when it comes to that. I like having the paper manual right there. Yeah, I probably could print it online, but I like to just have the original one. I just think it's nice to have it. And I think I paid 20 bucks for both of these total, shipped or something like that. It wasn't expensive. So here's the side art. This came from Escape Pod. The control panel overlay is an original control panel overlay from 1983 to whenever this game was made. It's just an old stock one. New old stock, I guess I would say. So this I haven't opened yet, so let's cut it open and look at it. Now, the only difference I noticed between this side art and a couple other companies that made it, I'll try to show you here. I think Escape Pod and this old game were the closest two matching ones to the original. Now, I could not find one that matched my original exactly. In my exact original one, in the light blue outer area, it actually had dots in it, okay? Trying to, if I can give you an example of something. I don't know that I have anything right now handy that has dots in it, but it actually had dots in the image, and they were perfectly placed all over. And I noticed that this old game and Escape Pod did not have the dots. I don't know if the dots were maybe a different version of the side art than the ones that they have here. That could be the case. Because there's two different control panel overlays. There was the original style with the Eskimos on it, which is what was on this. And then I guess they made if it got damaged, they sent you another one that was a little bit different than the original. I believe that's how it went from what I read, but I could be wrong with that. If anybody knows, go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong. But I thought Escape Pod looked really good. There was another company out there that did it as well. And I have some artwork for Arabian ordered from this old game, and I just messaged Rich last couple days ago, and he messaged me back and said it should be shipping out at the beginning of the week. I ordered it in the middle of October, so it's the middle of December almost now. So it's been about 2 months. So I could have got the Pengo side art from him, but I didn't know how long it would take, and I kind of wanted to just put this back together. I'm kind of throwing this ahead of everything else. Main reason is I got this monitor, this Geo 7, that has 0 burn in it, and it's perfectly spotless clean, and I just get nervous leaving something like that out. I don't want the neck to get bumped or anything like that, so I just want to get this thing put back together because there's not much to it, and just be done with it. So anyways, I noticed online there was another company that made this, and I gotta look at the placement here, but I think it goes something like that. I thought it was higher up than that, but I could be wrong. But anyways, I know that there was another company online that, where it says Pengo, this white area in the middle, it wasn't white. It kind of faded red to blue with no white in the middle, and that wasn't correct because mine original one had the white fade in the middle between the red to blue. So basically, this blue right here is, on my original one, had tiny little like white dots everywhere. They were maybe an 1/8 inch to a 1/4 inch apart. So that's the only difference that I could see. But I'm gonna look real quick online and just verify that this is supposed to be lower like that. For some reason, I'm thinking it was up here, but it can't be, because this right here follows the contour of the cabinet itself. So I'm pretty sure that's it right there. But I'm just gonna double check, make sure that this is made correctly. I mean, as correctly as it can be for what it is. But let me check real quick and I'll be back. I just looked, it is lower. It is made correctly. I don't know if this is something that he scanned off of another one or created it. I don't know. I know he does scan some stuff at Escape Pod, but I don't know the extent of it. I don't ask. I just go with what I think looks close to original. And like I said, I think this and this old game, they looked really close. But I'm sure there's some differences between the two. So what we're going to do now is kind of tape it up here to hold it, and then we're going to kind of position it where I want it. I might look online one more time just to verify the spacing between the back and the front, just to see if the front is closer or if it's evenly spaced, the front and the back. From what I looked at, it looks like it's about even front to back. And keep in mind, these were never perfect from the factory. They, you know what I mean, one side could have been a little different than the other. Come on. So what I'm doing is kind of just taping this up here. And I want to do is kind of, I'm going to grab a tape measure and verify that I'm going straight down the back, so that our measurement at the top is the same at the bottom, because if not, I'm going to stick this on there and it's going to go crooked and it's going to look real weird. Okay, I grabbed the tape measure here. Just want to try to get a ballpark here. Go from the edge of the sticker to the edge of the cabinet, because I don't know that this paper is cut straight, so I don't want to go off the paper itself. And I kind of eyeballed this, and actually I'm pretty straight. So since I know that I'm pretty straight, within probably a 1/16 of an inch, I'm going to go ahead and take some tape and go straight across the whole thing. Probably should have went a little lower, but that's all right. Go on an angle, it'll be fine. I'm going to remeasure it now because I did kind of move it a little bit. I think that's close. All right, so now that I have that piece of tape in the middle kind of holding this, we can pull this top back. Kind of just, I'm going to cut this right here to let it relax a little bit. Okay, now we can peel this back off. Now, when you cut the paper, make sure you're not against the cabinet with your knife, because you'll scratch your paint, and believe it or not, that scratch you make with your knife, especially if it's deep, will show through on the artwork. So you got to make sure you don't do that. Where did I put my squeegee? Okay, I got me a little squeegee here with my felt on the edge of it. That keeps it from scratching up the artwork. Now, you could also put a microfiber towel on the end of a credit card or something like that if you don't have one of these. So now what I'm going to do is kind of start in the center here and just go right up the center. Okay? Just like that. All right? Now, I'm not going to do anything else. I'm not going to push the sides down yet, in case for some reason I don't like how this looks where it's at. I can still move it. So now I'm going to take my tape off, because the center of that sticker is now holding. The other side, I'll do it on camera as well, but I'll kind of fast forward through it. No point in showing the same method again. So now we're going to take this paper. This is the flap from the back side. And I'm going to, once again, go straight down the center of the sticker while pulling the paper. Just kind of let the thing fall and relax. Just like that. And now I can see that my back looks nice and straight. This is a little bit off, but you know what? Even the factory one was a little bit off on that. So now that we ran the squeegee straight down this center, we have no bubbles in it, okay? So now let's start taking the squeegee and start going on an angle, okay? Just want to go on an angle like this. Down. Working your way to the outer edge. We got a little bubble here. Just work it off the edge. Same thing this way. Let's go on an angle. Just like that. That's one side stuck. So now let's go this way. This is why I like doing it standing up, because gravity kind of takes over, and if you're careful enough, it kind of just relaxes and goes where it wants to go. If you have it laying down, in my opinion, I think you get air bubbles in it. I think you get more air bubbles in it because you have more a tendency for that vinyl to flop over and trap air underneath it. Also, I don't like the wet method. I don't like it. I like it doing it dry. I always have really good luck with it. But that doesn't mean that, you know, you might feel the same way. You might want to do it, you know, wet. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just prefer doing it this way. As of right now, I have no bubbles in it. I have nothing in it. It looks awesome. So this side is done. I'm just going over it with my finger to make sure that it's down everywhere around the perimeter. And also, when I run my hand like this flat, I feel for air bubbles. Because sometimes you don't see them, but there's still an air bubble. So this side's done. So we're going to swing around. I'm going to swing the cabinet around. We'll put the other side on. Like I said, I'm just going to kind of fast forward through that just so that we don't waste a bunch of time on it. We'll put that on, and then we're going to move to the coin door, and then probably the marquee, and then we'll do the circuit board and the monitor. And if anybody wants to know how I place this, I went 1.5 inches from the back edge over to the sticker. Honestly, this side looks better to the contour. I think I put the other side on a little bit up too high. But it is what it is, guys. You know, nothing has to be, it's never going to be perfect. I guess if I would have measured from the top of his head up or something like that, but definitely this side matches the curve a little better than the other side. So I placed the other one a hair off, but it's not horrible. It's within reason, I would say. Yeah, I put it up a hair higher, but it is what it is. Too late now. So, all right, so now we're going to work on the coin door and the marquee. Okay, got the coin door over here. I have my little socket set. I went to the shop and grabbed my cordless stapler. Let's staple that top real quick. Remember, I unstapled this to move it back so that I could, I didn't want to get overspray on the silver. These are just 1/4 inch long staples, 1/2 inch wide. And this is from Bauer, guys, Harbor Freight. It was like 30 bucks. Works great. So now we have that stapled back in. Now we can move on to putting the coin door in. And then we'll put the marquee back on, which I just want to wipe that down before we put it on. I think I'm going to spin the cabinet a little bit. That should work. I need to see what size socket I need for those bolts. But this is definitely probably one of my easiest restorations I've done in a while. Oh, you know what I screwed up on? That's why. I got to unstaple that again up there. Shoot. Sometimes I get ahead of myself and I forgot I need to put the speaker back in first. Which involves getting up there for the nuts because there's a back to the cabinet that I can't get to. I guess I could. Might be able to reach it. Maybe I can with the monitor out. I'd like to not have to unstaple that again. So I got to get my bolts out for the coin door, which I already know what they look like because they're basically these right here with the built-in washer, and then they have these flaps that hold the coin door to the cabinet. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put this on, and then we'll see if we can get that speaker back in there. Okay, if anybody's wondering how these clips go on, you see how it's got that step in it? The step part goes on the coin door side. The higher end part goes on the wood side. Okay, you might be tempted to go the other way and put the higher side on the wood, but you don't because the wood is thicker than the coin door. So it actually goes this way. So I'll put this last one on off camera and then we'll be ready for the marquee, or the speaker, then the marquee. All right, I gotta see if I can get this speaker in. I don't know that I can get it in. And I need to find the wires, which are right here. Where'd I put the speaker? Okay. You know what's funny about their speaker wires is they're both black. Okay, it doesn't fit through there. Got one more option. Okay, we can get it up that way. Got the bolts in my pocket. Wipe the dust off on my shirt, sweatshirt. Look how clean that is. Still shiny powder coating, whatever's on this thing. Okay, I got one in there. Now the question is can I reach? That was a dumb move. I don't know why I did that. Yep. No way to get to that. I gotta unstaple that again. Boy, does that suck. All right. Really? All right, I got one started. I'm going to do the other three off camera. I'm going to check my phone real quick here. Okay, I want to clean the front face of the control panel or the marquee. I'm going to see if the number 1 Novus will work. If not, I might have to go to the number 2. I also have number 3, which is for like heavy scratches, but I don't think I'll need to go past the 2. So if I have to use the 2, we'll use the 2 first, and then we'll use the 1 afterwards. I have a soft towel here. This is kind of like a microfiber towel. Let me just see what the number 2 does. It's probably jammed up in the tip here. Yeah, this whole thing has like some sort of a weird haze on it. That worked pretty good. Actually, that worked really well. I don't know if the camera will pick this up. I don't have a good light over here. I don't have any of my spotlights out right now. But, so if you look, see where I cleaned it here versus that? This is like some residue that does not want to come off. Let me see if the spray does anything, or if I'm going to have to use the number 2 first. I actually have a big bottle of this stuff, and I just keep refilling the little spray bottle. Okay, the spray takes it off just as good as the number 2. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this down, wipe it all off real good, and then we'll get it mounted in there. All right, that's all wiped off. Looks pretty damn good. It's crazy how nice the back of this still is. This, I believe, is reverse printed onto here. It kind of looks like it is, but then again, it kind of looks kind of thick. I'm not sure how they did it. I would think it's reverse printed, but it could be. The marquee could be like that translite or something, glued, reverse glued or something. Oh, I forgot a piece of T-molding. 2 pieces of T-molding. One on the bottom of the front and one on the top of the cabinet in the front. I do have a cut piece that I can use. I always save my scrap cut pieces if I have a big piece left over because of things like this. You know, it's a 2.5 foot piece. Why throw away a 2.5 foot piece? Because you never know when you're gonna run into something like this to where you need a 2.5 foot piece. So this still has the original foam on the back, which pushes against the marquee. And then this is our black screws. I didn't tumble or clean any of these screws or anything. They didn't need it. Nothing was rusty. Battery's dying. I have to change the battery. So the guy who had told me about the giveaway Pepsi did for these Pengo cabinets, I believe he said they gave away 10 of them. I just would really like to know if this was one of them. Just for the simple fact that it's never had quarters in the coin box because there's no nicking, no rusting, no nothing. If this could possibly have been one of the giveaways. Because it's just so clean that there's no way that this was ever in an arcade. It couldn't have been. other than the water damage, which it was in a basement of a house. I mean, I didn't get to see the basement of the house. They had it upstairs, so I don't know the situation. And they didn't really know either. I don't know if they were just cleaning the house out for somebody, or if somebody lived there that they knew. I didn't ask too many questions. I just kind of loaded it up. And I thought, by the way the outside looked, how filthy it was and dirty, I thought the inside of the cabinet was gonna be trashed until I opened it on camera with you guys for the first time. So now we got that in. I'm gonna go grab some T-molding so that we can get that upper piece and that lower piece on. Okay, if you look down here, this is just a bin of cutoffs. There are some bigger pieces in here too, but for the most part, this is just a bunch of cutoffs that I have left over from just various games I've done T-molding. For instance, look at this right here. This is a 5-foot piece, 4-foot piece. We can use this for the top. I don't save like a 1-foot piece because clearly you're probably never going to use it. Well, I guess you could, maybe on a cocktail table, but I really don't. And of course, I forgot my mallet. Why wouldn't I have? So this side looks like it's cut straight. We'll use my built-in mallet. Why to cut it too long? Rather cut it twice than to screw it up. And oh, look at this, perfect length for the bottom. So that scrap piece got both pieces I needed. All right, that one's in. You can't see the coin counter unless you open this up and pull that out. If you're wondering, I just have strong hands. It's not a big deal. All right. So out of that scrap piece, we had about a 6-8 inch piece left over. Worked out perfect. So I'm gonna go get that bin out of my way. And then I think we're ready to put the, let's get this cabinet spun around. We'll put the circuit board and stuff back in. We got to put the high score save on first. Okay, I want to see if I can just put it on without having to take the board, or the circuit board off the wooden handle. So, open this up and see. I opened the box, but I never unwrapped it. I just kind of opened it and briefly looked because I wasn't sure which one it was that came in the mail, because I ordered one for I can't think of the name of it right now. Pengo. Question is sweet, it's gonna fit. Kind of almost hangs into that slot down there, but it'll fit. Okay, so CPU pin number 1 is that way. So it goes this way, like that. And it slips right in there, so it actually slides down into this cutout of the board. So I just need to grab my little flathead and we'll pop that chip put it into here, drop that in place, and we should be good to go. That's usually how easy these are to go. Try to zoom in here a little bit. You got the camera like 5 feet away, so trying to get in there decently, but obviously there's wires kind of covering what I'm doing here. Maybe I can kind of put these off to the side. So yeah, we just have this Z80 right here we need to pop up. Now you want to be careful when you're doing this, because you don't want to go running your screwdriver along the bottom if there's any traces underneath here, and run the risk of screwing that up, the traces on the board. Now they do make a chip lifter, but I've had really good luck with this. Look at how clean the legs are and everything on every single chip on this board. So this is our reference point here. We have our little notch out here. Now it was going this way, so we just have to make sure that we put it the same way. So basically there's a little notch on here, so we're going to put it in the same way as that notch. Carefully push it in. Make sure all your legs are nothing's folded over or bent. Now we can drop this in. Same way, your notch right here, it was right over on this side, so we need to just drop it back in the same way. Now usually on a circuit board, your writing on your chips usually will always go the same way on all of them, but that doesn't mean that that always is like that. So take that as a grain of salt, because you just don't know for sure. Now I got to try to line this up. Don't know if you'll be able to see. Looks good to me. Zoom out here. All right, let's get this slid back into the cabinet. Okay, you can bolt that in. Four bolts. These look like 7/16 to me. This is the control panel, I think. I can't tell. This has got to get mounted back up here. Okay. Oh, there we go. I gotta get some zip ties so we can zip tie the wires back up like they had them. This is my marquee, which is right here. Okay, this is the monitor plug, I believe. Makes sense because of the length of it. This plugs into the circuit board. Make sure I put it in the right direction. All these wires got tangled up. Seriously? Leave red. Don't know why I disconnected these. Maybe I thought I needed to. Okay, this goes to the monitor. Put the power supply in. We have a ground wire right here which goes to the power supply. There's two. Forgot to get my other battery. I'll get it when I get my zip ties. Okay. So now I'm going to use my manual and see what plug goes where because I don't remember. see if we have, I haven't even looked at the manual yet, so. Probably should look at the index. Alright, so we have here computer self-assembly, assembly game electronics, P1. Okay, P1, that's our connector for our board. And there's a little number 1 on the circuit board, so it goes in this direction. So we have that plugged in correctly now. Now we need to find the power supply plugs. Power supply right here. P4. So P4. Okay, power in is coming from here. So this is our power in right here. And then our power out, which is right here. You can tell by the way the wires are bent on which way they go. But we will double check. Looking for the pin out for the power. Pin number 2 is red, which is right here. Pin 1 skipped. Pin 3 is skipped. Pin 4 black. Okay, that's in the right direction. So now I was trying to make sure this is in the right direction, which I'm 99% confident that it is, but let's still check it, because if you plug it in backwards, then it could cause a serious issue, which we don't want to do. So now I need to figure out the wires that are coming from there to here, which on this drawing is not showing it. Oh yes it is. It's showing it, but it's not giving me wire colors. This is circuit board. Probably be a bunch of IC board drawings here. Yep, probably gonna be the rest of the book. Monitor. More monitor. Power supply. See if this shows me on this one or not. There's the audio side, audio in, audio out. All right, let me look real quick. Okay, that is plugged in correct. So now we can stick the monitor in, because I don't want to start zip tying these wires back into the cabinet until I have the monitor in there, just to make sure that my routing is the right way. So I'm going to grab the monitor and we're going to wrestle that back in place. All right. We have 4 long screws that go in the front through the wood. And then we got to put those brackets back on up at the top here. Oh, I forgot my battery. Okay, everything's bolted in. Now I need to zip tie these wires back together. Oh, we gotta plug in the monitor. What in the world? What's this one right here? Okay, so our monitor is plugged in. We have a ground wire, which goes to the monitor. I believe it goes this way, up, and over to here. Oh, there's a screw right there. And here it is. It's a 1/4-inch nut driver, and I don't have one with me. Maybe my drill will work. Perfect. All right, now we need to zip tie this. Oh, we need to paint the back door still. I'm probably gonna have to try to do that tomorrow morning because that 59 Impala is coming back supposedly tomorrow, and I'm not gonna be able to paint any parts for a while, for at least a week. So I'd like to get those doors painted, which I'm just gonna sand them down and paint them. I'm not going crazy with them. So I know that this wire goes right here. You can see how it's bent still. And then this zip tie goes through the staple. I'll have to cut the zip ties afterwards. And this was kind of grouped up just like it is. It's actually kind of all just kind of falling back into place. And then we have this ground wire too. That's got to go. Oh wait, I was wrong. This green one goes to the here. This one goes to the monitor. That's right. I remember that now. This one goes over to here because I already have another ground wire on there and I got to put the nut on it. We have staples all over the bottom here that are lifted, and that's where your zip tie goes through. And we do have one wire clamp or whatever you want to call it, which goes there. Okay. All the wires are pretty much falling right back in place where they needed to go. not the easiest task. Okay, I think we got it. I think that's looking pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna go grab some cutters to cut those. And then we can put the control panel clamps on that clamp it down. And then I think we can plug it in and see if it works. Well, we'll probably put the monitor, clean the monitor, put the cardboard back on and clean the glass and put that on. And then we can fire it up and see if it works. All right, let's put on the latches for the control panel. Then we're gonna clean the monitor, set the cardboard in, clean the glass, which is extremely dirty. Oh, I did put the nut on the stud for the ground wires on the box in the back that has the interlock switch in it. And there is a ground wire on the one side of this latch for the coin, or for the control panel. Okay. Now, that's all that's left is a sticker that fell off, 6 screws for the top back part that gets screwed in, and then there's 2 washers and 2 random screws left over, which were in the bottom of the cabinet when I got the cabinet. So I don't know if maybe those fell in there from the factory. That would be my guess, maybe when they were assembling it, because it has that double bottom. Maybe it fell down in there and they just left them. I don't know. I know I'm pretty sure I cleaned this in the shop. I gotta adjust the leg levelers once I figure out where I'm gonna put this down here. I am running out of room down here. Once I run out of room down here, once I get the shop, the back area done, I'm probably gonna put some games out there. Cardboard bezel here. Okay, now I'm gonna clean the glass off camera. I'll show it to you. That's how disgusting that glass is. That's how that came when I got the game. So I'm gonna sit here and scrub that with some window cleaner. Get it cleaned up and we'll drop that in. Okay, underneath all that filth was actually a really nice piece of glass. I don't think there's any scratches in it. I got a little bit more cleaning to do. I thought I had it clean. Let me get these corners a little bit better. Beautiful. All right, so now I guess we can do the moment of truth. Plug it in, see what it does. I think this cord might be long enough. All right, it's plugged in. Need to pull the interlock switch. Nothing. Okay, oh, you know what? I think that's on a switch. I think that plug is on a switch. Question is which switch is it? Well, I turned on some games down here because I don't know which switch that could possibly be on. Still not getting any power. All right, give me a minute. All right. Just turned it on. I had it plugged into a plug that must be on a different switch somewhere. Okay, here we go. All right, it's working. We cannot do any adjustments to the free play, the high score save kit yet because we don't have a control panel. But once we get a control panel, we will be able to do some adjustments. But it is working, so we successfully installed the high score saver kit without having any pins out of place, it looks like. I always turn the attract sounds off because there's so many games down here, it gets a little bit overwhelming. But now I'm going to be able to keep high score. So that, to me, I like high score because it makes me more motivated to want to play the games. But that's pretty much it, guys. We're going to have one more video. We need to put the locks on the control panel and the back doors, and then we can adjust the high score saver. I'll show you how to do that. I have to look it up. I believe you have to push and hold a button down, or maybe when it first turns on, it tells you to hit player 1 or player 2 or something like that. I forget, but we'll do that once it comes time. Once I get that overlay, we can get that put on and stuff. So, all right, guys, I don't know what part this is, 6 maybe, 5, 6, I'm not sure. But that's going to end this video. We at least have Pengo back in the cabinet, back together, T-molding back on the cabinet. Like I said, I got 1 or 2 loose spots, and I'm just going to take some hot glue, squirt it in there, and push it down. That's all you got to do if you have a couple loose spots with your T-molding. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Any questions or comments, feel free to ask. Please hit the thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Other than that, I think tomorrow we'll try to get those back doors painted, like I said, in the morning, so that I'll have those to put on when I get the control panel overlay. I'm not sure what I'm going to work on tomorrow yet. I have a ton going on. Like I said, that car is supposed to be coming back tomorrow. I don't know, maybe tomorrow afternoon I'll work on Stargate, because that's kind of been sitting there abandoned for a while now. So I did get for the CPU, I think it was the CPU boards. Remember, I had to borrow one to get Sinistar to work right. So I don't really have a working one for that right now. I got 4 of them from for $100. I know nothing about them. A couple of them are missing chips. Some of them have chips. But hopefully one of those 4 we can get working for Stargate. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys later.